7 German cars, and we're putting a $120,000 family sedan at number 1, above the Porsche 911 Turbo S, above the GT3 RS, above everything. If that sounds wrong to you, stay with us, because by car 3, you'll understand exactly why it's right. By car 5, you might not want to finish this list. Number 7, Audi RS e-tron GT Performance. Starting price, $145,000. Number 7. And this is the car nobody on this list wanted to include. Not because it's slow, not because it's ugly, because it makes the argument that everything else in this list, everything built around noise, around mechanical drama, around the idea that a great German car announces itself, might be the wrong argument. Under the hood, or rather, under the floor, Audi has fitted 2 permanently excited synchronous motors. One driving the front axle, one driving the rear. Together, they produce 630 horsepower, 469 kilowatts. A 93.4 kilowatt-hour battery feeds them. 0 to 60 miles per hour, 97 kilometers per hour, in 3.1 seconds. And the whole thing happens in the kind of silence that makes you check whether the car actually started. There is no engine note to warn you, no rising revs to prepare you, just instant torque. 590 pound-feet of it, available from the first millimeter of throttle travel in a combustion car power builds. Here, it simply exists. At your right foot, on demand, always. The physics of electric motors don't allow for any other arrangement. Inside, Audi hasn't cut corners to make the electric case. Hand-stitched leather, aluminum inlays that catch light the way expensive things do, a driving position that fits around you rather than merely accommodating you. The steering responds faster than your inputs because there's no drivetrain noise confusing the signal. The people who own this car don't talk about what it sounds like, they talk about what it feels like. And those are 2 very different conversations. At $145,000, this is the most provocative entry on this list. Not because of the price, because of what it's asking. Drop your take in the comments. The next 6 cars will all make noise. Whether that makes them better is the question this video is really asking. Number 6. BMW M4 CSL. Starting price, $140,000. Number 6. And this is BMW's answer to that question. The M4 CSL exists because someone at BMW asked something very simple. What happens if we take a great car and remove everything that isn't driving? No rear seats, no carpet, no weight that doesn't earn its place. 240 pounds, 109 kilograms stripped out, and the result doesn't feel lighter, it feels angrier. The engine is BMW's S58, a 3.0-liter twin-turbocharged inline-6, producing 543 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. 405 kilowatts, 650 newton meters. It's the same basic architecture as the standard M4, but the CLS's version breathes differently. The intake, the exhaust, the tune, all optimized for a car that weighs less and demands more. 0 to 60 miles per hour, 97 kilometers per hour, in 3.4 seconds. Rear-wheel drive, no all-wheel option, no safety net. When the rear steps out in a corner exit, that is yours. When you catch it, and you will once you've learned the car, that is yours too. The M4 CSL gives you the mistake and the recovery. The e-tron would have prevented the mistake. You're not the same car for the same person. The person who buys this doesn't want assistance, they want accountability. A car that tells the truth about whether you can actually drive. $140,000 for that conversation. Every dollar either in your confidence or your embarrassment, depending on the corner. Alcantara on every surface, carbon wherever weight matters, a car that rewards the people willing to learn it and exposes everyone else. The next car on this list has nothing to prove and knows it. The R8 knows something the CSL refuses to accept. Number 5. Audi R8 V10 Performance. Starting price, $200,000. Number 5. And this one is different from everything else on this list, because this might be the last one. The Audi R8 V10 Performance. A 5.2-liter naturally aspirated V10 10 cylinders, no turbos, no hybrid assistance, no electric motor filling in the gaps, sitting directly behind you. 602 horsepower, 449 kilowatts, 413 pound-feet of torque, an 8,700 RPM redline. A number so high that most engines would have destroyed themselves trying to reach it. Audi built one that wants to live there. 0 to 60 miles per hour, 97 kilometers per hour in 3.1 seconds. Top speed, 205 miles per hour, 330 kilometers per hour. In any other year, those numbers are the story. In 2026, they're not. The story is what happens on the way to 8,700. The V10 doesn't roar. It doesn't rumble. It screams, high and mechanical and completely without apology. It fills the cabin, fills the tunnel, fills whatever empty road you're fortunate enough to be on. Each of those 10 cylinders firing in sequence, a mechanical rhythm that no software can synthesize and no speaker can replicate. It is the sound of an industry that has decided to move on, and one car that is not coming quietly. The people who buy the R8 in 2026 know exactly what they're doing. They're not buying the fastest thing available for $200,000. They're buying the last of something. The last naturally aspirated V10 in a road car you can actually own. Every tunnel becomes an occasion. Every full throttle run becomes a little more deliberate. There's a version of ownership where the car appreciates you as much as you appreciate it. The R8 in 2026 is that car. Drive one while you still can. The next car was built by people who consider that sentence sentimental. Number 4. Porsche 911 GT3 RS. Starting price, $225,000. Number 4. This is a completely different obsession from everything before it. The CSL stripped things away to make the driver more accountable. The GT3 RS doesn't strip things away. It adds things that have no business being in a road car. 860 pounds, 390 kilograms of aerodynamic downforce, and a vehicle that carries number plates and can be driven to the circuit under its own power. At its heart is a 4.0-liter naturally aspirated flat-six producing 518 horsepower, 386 kilowatts, and 346 pound-feet of torque, 469 Newton-meters. It revs to 9,000 RPM. 9,000. That's 500 RPM higher than the R8's V10. In a 6-cylinder engine. The engineering required to make a road-legal flat-six survive that kind of rotational stress is not trivial. Porsche spent years on it. 0 to 60 miles per hour, 97 kilometers per hour in 3.0 seconds flat. Top speed, 184 miles per hour, 296 kilometers per hour, with a full aero package fitted. It holds the Nürburgring lap record for production road-legal cars. Not hypercars, not track-only machines, road cars. Sit inside and this is a minimalism. It's maximalism in a very specific direction. Fixed carbon bucket seats that hold you in place under 1.7 G of lateral force. A dashboard designed around information, not comfort. No rear seats, no carpet, no luxury softening any edge that doesn't need softening. But there's a roll cage option. Active aerodynamics, a PDK gearbox that shifts in 80 milliseconds. Porsche didn't simplify this car. They optimized it for one purpose and declined to apologize for anything it gave up in the process. The person who buys a GT3 RS has a circuit they're trying to master, a lap time they're trying to lower, a very specific idea of what a car is for. Obsession is Porsche's product. $225,000 is what obsession costs. The AMG that comes next has 4 seats and costs $45,000 less. Pay attention to how you feel when you see what it can do with them. Number 3. Mercedes-AMG GT63 SE Performance. Starting price, $180,000. Number 3. And this car genuinely should not be possible. Mercedes-AMG took their 4.0-liter twin-turbocharged V8, the M177, one of the most decorated engines in modern motorsport, and coupled it to a rear-axle integrated starter-generator electric motor. Together, they produce 831 horsepower, 620 kilowatts, and a torque figure that reads like a misprint, 1,033 pound-feet, 737 newton-meters of combustion torque from the V8, the electric motor layering additional thrust at exactly the moments the V8 needs to breathe between gear changes, 0 to 60 miles per hour, 97 kilometers per hour, in 2.9 seconds. 4 doors, 4 adults, luggage, climate control running. The AMG GT3 RS Performance refuses to make you choose between a family car and something that frightens you, between the school run and the kind of acceleration that makes passengers grip the door handle. The hybrid system is not here for fuel efficiency. It's here because a permanently excited rear motor delivers torque instantaneously at the moments combustion cannot. The result isn't just fast, it is relentless in a way that physics prevents a purely combustion car from replicating. The person who buys this has a family that matters and a right foot that refuses to compromise. They're not choosing between two lives. They're living both simultaneously. At $180,000, in a car that starts every morning as a luxury saloon and can end any evening as something else entirely. Rear passengers get genuine legroom, a cabin that makes long journeys shorter, and the driver gets 831 horsepower on demand whenever they decide the day requires it. Most cars in this segment ask you to decide what you are. The AMG GT3 RS Performance considers that question lazy. The car above it didn't bother asking. It simply decided to be the best at one thing, and it is not remotely interested in being reasonable about it. Number 2. Porsche 911 Turbo S. Starting price, $230,000. Number 2. A 3.8-liter twin-turbocharged flat 6, 640 horsepower, 477 kilowatts, 590 pound-feet of torque, 800 newton-meters, 0 to 60 miles per hour, 97 kilometers per hour in 2.6 seconds. Top speed, 205 miles per hour, 330 kilometers per hour. It is the fastest accelerating production 911 Porsche has ever built. You have read numbers like these before. You have not experienced what they feel like in a car built at this level of completeness. The Turbo S doesn't announce itself. Somewhere around 3,000 RPM, both turbos spool simultaneously and the world reorganizes. The horizon compresses. Your hands tighten before your brain has processed what's happening. Then it does it again, through second gear, through third, without drama, without noise, without any indication that what is happening should be permitted on a public road. The all-wheel drive system doesn't just distribute power, it thinks. Porsche traction management reading every variable, speed, steering angle, throttle position, yaw rate, and delivering exactly what each wheel can use at exactly the moment it can use it. On wet roads, in cold tarmac, through corners that require real commitment from every other car on this list. The Turbo S has already made the calculation before you've asked the question. Inside, leather and precision and a sport chrono stopwatch in the dashboard that is not decoration. It is a reminder of what is underneath the composure. The Turbo S will outlast trends, outlast rivals, and outlast the argument about whether it deserves to be here. It doesn't care about that argument. It never did. There is no meaningful flaw in the 911 Turbo S. That is exactly why it is number 2. Number 1. BMW M5 2026. Starting price, $120,000. Number 1. And yes, we know exactly what you're thinking. The BMW M5 2026. $120,000. 4 doors, a back seat, a boot, a 4.4-liter twin-turbocharged V8 paired with an integrated electric motor. The S68 engine combined with a 145-kilowatt rear-axle motor. System output, 717 horsepower, 535 kilowatts, 737 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 miles per hour, 97 kilometers per hour, in 3.4 seconds. And it costs $110,000 less than the 911 Turbo S that came before it. This is not a car that fits a category, so it invented its own. In comfort mode, the F5 is a luxury saloon. The adaptive M suspension reading the road ahead, air springs absorbing what the cameras didn't catch, the cabin sealed from everything outside it. The kind of quiet that reminds you BMW still understands what refinement means. Not as a word, but as a feeling. You can drive this car across 3 countries and arrive rested. Switch to M mode. The X-Drive system shifts its torque split rearward. The suspension firms, the steering tightens, the exhaust opens, and 717 horsepower, delivered with the electric motor, eliminating every dead spot in the torque curve, reaches the road with a completeness that has nothing to do with a 0 to 60 time. It is about what happens between the numbers, the corners, on the exits, and the moments that never appear in a spec sheet. Here's the argument for number 1, made plainly. The GT3 RS is faster in a circuit. The Turbo S is more precise at its limits. The AMG produces more power. The R8 is more emotional. Every car above the M5 is better than it at one specific thing. But not one of them can do everything the M5 does. Not one of them carries 4 people in genuine comfort and then puts 717 horsepower at the driver's foot in the same journey. Not one of them starts at $120,000. Not one of them refuses to ask you to choose. The best German car of 2026 is not the one that wins any single comparison. It is the one that makes the comparison irrelevant. That's the M5, and we're not changing the ranking. But we are reading every single comment. Tell us exactly, and specifically, why we're wrong. 7 German cars, 1 year. Number 1 that is either the most honest answer to that question or the most wrong. Next week, the fastest cars in the world in 2026. One of them costs less than the GT3 RS you just watched. That should not be possible. We'll show you exactly why it is. Subscribe so you don't miss it, and tell us in the comments, how many of you are putting the Porsche first?